Okay, here it is. Bedlam. Number 9, Oklahoma. A 6-point road favorite at Oklahoma State. This game carries an over-under of 61 points, which has actually come down midweek. This game kicks off at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Would have loved to see it in the 7:30 slot, but I'm not going to be picky about this one. This is potentially the last Bedlam ever. From the sounds of it, it is. And Mike getting Oklahoma State, they're pissed about it and the way that's ending, and I totally get that. And this is one of the premier staple rivalries, and I'm hurt to see it go. But if you're Oklahoma, I understand why you don't make too much of an effort to continue this. It's not even really a rivalry on their end. They've won 91 games and lost 16. Like, it's just it's a little brother trying to fight the big brother. That's whatever. Either way, I think that the motivation that Oklahoma State has about this game, the fury that they bring, the vitriol that they're bringing to this, changes the calculus of it. 3 of their 5 Bedlam wins since 2000. I mentioned it's not much of a back-and-forth rivalry. They won those at home. It's expected to be breezy during the game with winds over 11 miles an hour. If you've ever been out to Stillwater, you know there's a breeze pretty constantly. This was going to be an Oklahoma State play for me all season until Kansas upset Oklahoma last week. I worry a little bit that that's the wake-up call. I don't think it was a look-ahead spot because Kansas was ranked. They're a team that's given Oklahoma fits. They're very good. I don't think it was a look-ahead spot. But that may be a wake-up call that Oklahoma needs to step up, button down on defense. Whether they can or not remains to be seen. And I also don't think it's all of a sudden just Oklahoma's just bad. I think watching the game, I watched every second of it. They just melted. It happens from time to time. Good teams melt in situations that they couldn't. Otherwise, they really controlled the game after the first couple of drives, and we had a lightning delay despite it being 35 degrees or whatever it was. Anyway, the Pokes are a different team than the ones that we saw pre-bye week, the one that got killed by South Alabama. Since the bye week, in which they returned a bunch of starters and got guys in place, they're 4-0 with wins over Kansas State, Kansas, West Virginia, plus Cincinnati, but whatever. They are scoring 40.3 points per game versus 20.3 versus FBS teams for the bye. One of those games included Arizona State. That's an opportunity to score a bunch of points, and they just weren't then because the offensive line wasn't right. Oklahoma, they haven't been right since coming off their bye. It's kind of a flip-flop situation here. Even in the first half against Iowa State before the Red River shootout, they gave a lot of points and a lot of yards. They were able to right the ship, but there was a flash of, what's happening here? They're lucky, I would say, to have beaten UCF. They lost to Kansas. I don't know, man. The defense just hasn't been there. Now, they lost Danny Stutzman, who's All-American caliber linebacker last week. Keep an eye on him. It's a leg injury. Stepped on somebody's cleat. Doesn't look to be serious, but he did not return to that game. And if he doesn't return, it's a major issue.
Brett, there's so many angles to talk about in these big rivalry games. We could go for hours, and I would have so much fun doing it. I'll start with the committee rankings, as I said I would for some of these games. The committee has Oklahoma number 9, Oklahoma State number 22.
Oh, holy hell, I completely missed that. Number 9, Oklahoma, number 22, Oklahoma State. Wow, I just glossed over that.
And let me get to that because I think there's a reason maybe you glossed over it. I don't have a huge issue with Oklahoma. I'd have the Sooners number 8 in my most deserving. I don't understand the love for the Cowboys from the committee. Hey, they're trending in the right direction. They're playing really well. I have Oklahoma State number 30 in my most deserving rankings. So they have the number 27 record achievement, the number 32 relative scoring margin. I love how Oklahoma State's playing right now. Really, really well. They're trending in the right direction. But based on resumes to date, I wouldn't have the Cowboys in my top 25. So the fact that the committee has them at 22, I haven't done the paper or the article yet for the lines, but Oklahoma State might end up in that article as a team that I think the committee has overranked by a significant margin. Enough of all of that, though, Brett. This is Bedlam. It means even more this year, as you said, since we don't know when or even if we'll get this game again. It's an absolute shame. The things that I am disliking the most about conference realignment, more than anything, I don't like that we're losing regional conferences, but I can get over that. What I can't get over is we're losing Bedlam. We're losing the Apple Cup. We're losing the Civil War. We're losing these games that mean a ton to these fan bases and just college football, just like the history of the game. These are the reasons we play and watch this game. And conference realignment and money is taking it away from us. It's very sad. So I'm going to enjoy this one. It's got a watchability score of 8.2. It's a top 10 game of the week for me. I'd argue it should have an even higher score, given the rivalry bonus that is not baked in, but I think maybe moving forward I need to figure out a way to do that. In addition to the right now, indefinite bragging rights at stake. This game also carries massive Big 12 championship game implications. Oklahoma currently has the best chance to make it to Arlington at 73% per my current numbers. A win would see that figure go north of 80%, but a loss, and the Sooners would have just a 1-3 chance to make the champ game. Brett, that would be shocking for a team that just about a week ago was up around 90-ish%. Now you're talking about you lose this one, you're down to 33-ish. So it's big for Oklahoma. It's just as big for Oklahoma State. A win makes it a 50-50 proposition to play for the conference title, while a loss would leave the Cowboys with just a 1 in 10 chance to make it to Arlington. They'd really be behind the 8 ball here, so a huge opportunity for both these teams. Brett, I have Oklahoma minus 12 in this one. It's an 80% win expectancy. Oklahoma has fallen from number 2 to number 10 in the power ratings the past 2 weeks, following the 2-point home win against UCF and the 5-point loss in Lawrence. The Sooners' relative scoring margin is down to a season low number 6. That further emphasizes the recent downturn in form for this team. But my model thinks, Brett, as you mentioned, the market might be overcorrecting here, at least based on what the factors that I'm looking at over here. The Sooners' offense is still number 7 in the nation. The defense is number 24, both better than their opposition this week. Oklahoma State's won 4 games on the bounce, though. They're currently a season-best power rating 7.4 and corresponding ranking number 33. The Cowboys' offense and defense are both power-ranked season bests as well, number 29 and number 46, respectively. So like I said, this team is playing great football. They're rounding into form. My issue with the committee ranking is their resume doesn't necessarily match that yet. Win this game, and it's a whole different conversation. These teams are definitely trending in opposite directions based on form. But on my current numbers, Oklahoma is the better team with the better offense, and this is the best offense that Oklahoma State's going to face all year. This game's in Stillwater. I'm a firm believer that winning on the road is the hardest thing to do in college football, especially when it's against your rival. But the model expects Oklahoma to bounce back this week. Bottom line, it's Oklahoma minus 12, 20% chance that Oklahoma State makes it 2 in a row against the Sooners in Stillwater.
I did have to pull up how Oklahoma State is trended in at least my aggregated power ratings.
Should be good.
Week 6, they bottomed out at 74. I had them ranked 1 point below FBS average. They're 28 this week.
Mm-hmm.
It is a linear, exponential increase.
Yep.
If you haven't, adjust your at least mind frame on Oklahoma State. They're a different team. They're playing really good football right now. Anyway, it's absolutely the square side. But this is an overplay for me. It went under. I know we saw it tick down a little bit, but I'm playing over the point total. Going to wait, certainly, to see it rebound before I hit that over. Oklahoma State, they're almost certainly selling out for this game. Their offense has picked it up. I think a lot of this underplay is just from season-long power rating metrics and not a snapshot of what they actually are. Like I just mentioned, Oklahoma's defense is regressing and is potentially without the best defender in the conference, at least the best player on their team, on their defense. The Pokes defense still gives up plenty of production. They've just played a couple of really bad teams lately. So let's close this rivalry out with some fireworks. Over for me.